Good evening. My name is Cordia, and this is Insurance Talk Tuesday with CCI Protection. So, at CCI Protection, our mission is to serve, educate, and protect. And so, we are making this information available every week. We will bring a different topic in insurance. So, last week, we're discussing the auto policy, and last week we discussed them. Are the liability limits. This week we'll move to you. And essentially, again, the policy breaks down into three parts. That's protection for them, protection for you, and then protection for your vehicle. So this week we'll be talking about protection for you, which are our optional coverages. So essentially, there are three optional coverages that we'll discuss. The first is uninsured, underinsured motorist protection. The second is personal injury protection, and then the third is medical payments. So I'll start with the uninsured, underinsured. A lot of time, customers will think if someone's driving their car that's not on their policy, then that's what that's for. A little bit different from what the coverage actually is designed for. And so, with these optional coverages, before I get into the three different ones, if they are not on your policy, the state of Texas actually mandates that you sign a rejection form saying you're aware. So for uninsured, underinsured, and personal injury protection, a rejection form is necessary if you don't carry that coverage. Medical payment is interchangeable with personal injury protection, so that one doesn't require a signature, but it's still an optional coverage that we'll talk about. So this is protection for you, and people, you is plural, so the people in your vehicle do qualify as you. And so if we have an accident, these are the coverages that will take care of you and the people inside of your vehicle. Okay, so first we'll discuss uninsured, underinsured protection, right? So in this scenario, someone hits you and either they don't have insurance or they don't have enough insurance to cover your bodily injury expenses or your property damage. All right, so let's kind of talk through that. So John runs to the back of your car. John causes $12,000 worth of damage, and you have $50,000 worth of medical bills from this incident. John does not have any insurance whatsoever, right? So you would have to either seek a legal remedy by suing John and then going after your funds that way. Luckily, though, we have these optional coverages. And so, with these optional coverages, what the uninsured motorist protection would do for you is tap in to repair your vehicle and to also take care of your bodily injury. Now, the limits are similar to what we learned in liability. So you can change the limits, they can be different. But for the purpose of this example, we're going to assume that it's 30, 60, 25 limits, which are the state minimum limits, which is not what we want, really. But we'll say that for the purpose of this, right? So you are carrying uninsured, underinsured. John runs into the back of your car. He causes $12,000 worth of damage to your vehicle and causes you to have $50,000 in medical bills, right? So now that uninsured, underinsured is going to come in with that 30, 60, 25 limits, right? So 30, 60 referring to your bodily injury, 30,000 because you're in the vehicle by yourself in this example, right? So you have at least $30,000 that would come to you to help you with those medical bills. And then because you have that $25,000 limit for the vehicle, that full $12,000 will be paid. But the idea is if someone hits you who doesn't have insurance, opposed to you having to try to sue that person individually and get your money that way, you're able to take advantage of that uninsured, underinsured protection on your policy to go ahead and get your bodily injury and your property damage taken care of that way. All right. So one of the advantages is that with uninsured, underinsured protection, you have a $250 deductible, and that's across the board. Doesn't matter what your limits are, that'll be your deductible to go ahead and get your vehicle repaired. And then you would have the coverage, depending on the limit, available to you for your bodily injury, right? So, uninsured protection, someone hits you, they do not have insurance, your policy would then kick in to help take care of that bodily injury and that property damage for you, right? But there are two scenarios for uninsured, underinsured, right? So underinsured, John has insurance, but he's carrying those 30, 60, 25 limits, and so he doesn't have enough insurance. So same scenario, John runs into the back of your car, causes $12,000 worth of damage to your vehicle and $50,000 in medical bills. Well, John, is carrying 30, 60, 25 limits. So he's hit you. You're the only person in the car. So we're dealing with that 30,000 as the max that's going to pay out on his policy. Well, my bills are 50,000. So what about that other 20,000 that's up in the air for damages that John has caused but cannot pay for because his limits are too low? Well, that's when my uninsured, underinsured protection will come in to fill that gap for us. So because I'm carrying 30, 60 limits on uninsured, underinsured, I would have 30,000 available to me. So my coverage will take care of that 20,000 that's remaining, while John's policy will pay that first 30,000. All right. So uninsured, underinsured. Someone hits you, they cause damage to your personal property. They may cause you some bodily injury. Uninsured, underinsured protection will come in to help you with your bodily injury and to help you with your property damage in the event that the person who hit you does not have insurance or does not have enough insurance, right? Right. Another advantage, though, to having uninsured, underinsured protection is that it's a non-fault claim, right? So, let's talk about when this happens. Also, so you come outside. You went to a friend's house. You parked in the garage in the visitor section. You come outside and your vehicle has been sideswiped. You have absolutely no idea who did it. And so, in this event, in this case, it is an uninsured motorist because you don't know who it is. So, they don't have coverage in place. Um, if you are not carrying uninsured, underinsured protection in this scenario, you would be subject to whatever your collision deductible is, and you would have an at fault accident now on your claims history. Even though you were parked, you were not in the vehicle when the vehicle was hit. Because you don't have uninsured, underinsured protection, the only way you are then able to get your vehicle repaired is to file a collision claim. And when you file a collision claim, that's going to be an at fault accident, right? Now, if you've shopped insurance lately and you have an at fault accident, you have seen the effects of having that on your claims history, right? So we want to have non-faults if we have to have something. Um, and this is something really big for my clients. Call me, please, and let's have a conversation and make sure filing the claim is the best thing to do. Filing the claim under your policy is the best thing to do because there are some scenarios that'll present themselves where that's just not the best option. It's not the option that you should take. So that's a little tangent about filing claims unnecessarily because I see the impacts of it on my clients. And so I'm very, very proactive about letting my customers know to give me a call. But anyway, moving right back to the uninsured, underinsured. So, in talking about just that advantage, so not only is it going to be a $250 deductible, right, opposed to a $500 or $1,000 deductible, whatever it is you're carrying on your policy, but it would also be a non-fault accident opposed to an at-fault accident that we would have to file into that collision deductible. So it's certainly an advantage to having the uninsured, underinsured protection. I always carry it. Know what the limits that you need to have are. Understand what the coverage is about. I'm going to stop for uninsured, underinsured. It was pretty lengthy. And so next video, we'll do part 2 of you. And we will jump into personal injury protection and medical payments. And we'll talk about the differences in those coverages. But please give me any questions or comments, concerns that you have. Please leave them below or feel free to give us a call. You can reach us directly at 800-513-4929 or online at cciprotection.com. Good night.